prepared everything.
Yeah, I've got pictures. The pictures that you sent me, I've got them saved. So whenever y'all start talking about them, I can bring them up.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
I'll take care of all that stuff and the intros and all that kind of stuff. Y'all just do your shit.
Let me turn off my cell phone.
sheer vastness of our universe can be overwhelming. Danielle offers her hand as a guide into what we call the unknown. Travel with her as she endeavors to untangle the threads of not only our dimension, but of those beyond.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Diva's Dimension. We are here in Canada, prairies. We are enjoying the beautiful weather. I'm very, very happy and excited about tonight's show. I must say first that I'm going to surprise you with something. So, Texas Front Porch is adding a wonderful addition to their team, and I'm gonna have a basic, amazing person who's gonna be with me directly talking about paranormal stories from Paranormal Magazine. You know, he's a big researcher, my friend, my supporter. I respect him, his wife, and I must say, he just got a brand new puppy. Some
Hey Danielle, how you doing?
Dennis, I'm doing very well. Hello and welcome from sunny California to sunny Canada. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, just enjoying the weather. Been busy with the new puppy. You know, unfortunately, one of our dogs passed away. His name was Story, and oh, I loved him. I loved him to death. And the poor guy was diabetic and had anemia and had pancreatitis infection. It was, and you know, he just went. And so anyway, just by luck, one of my friends, Sally Howard, took in a puppy, and this puppy, she has two older dogs, and they just weren't dealing with this new puppy. And just like out of a miracle of God, I got this puppy. I said, Sally, I'll take her off your hands. And now I have this puppy named Irie, like the luck of the Irish. and Miracle, and she just, oh my gosh, she is just so fun, and she plays with my other dog, Champagne, and
Paul, ladies,
just great.
I don't know what's. Can you guys?
Well, Danielle is obviously fighting demons. Uh-oh. See, look, I'm naked. There we go.
Don't want to be naked.
Danielle's fighting some demons. She had a little connection trouble last night.
Okay.
But it looks like it followed her.
Oh.
So let's try to get.
Oh well.
We'll work with this. Y'all bear with us.
Yeah, we'll work it out. Oh, there she is.
I'm so sorry, gentlemen. The internet is really bad, and I don't know why. I'm really connected, and they have the highest speed internet, so I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's the aliens or the ghost.
You're sounding good. You're
so
sounding good
that's
now.
Yeah, it seems to be better now.
Yeah, it's a whole lot better.
Well, it could be. Sometimes the StreamYard, I said it's like an old TV till it warms up and it gets connected. So, thank you so much. So again, I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Del Roberts will be my co-host, to tell us all about basically wonderful paranormal underground magazine. You can always check it out. I had the honor to be interviewed and to be on the front page. It was quite my honor, Paul, to be part of such a magnificent magazine. And you are an editor there, and being my co-host, it just makes me really, really honored. Tex, you're my bro. We're always here. So about this show. So that's
I have to tell you,
what I can say. So today, Paul, we're gonna start a little bit.
Looks like we're gonna make it through this show. It maybe end up being me and you, Paul.
Oh yeah.
So y'all are going to talk about the ghost of Elk Grove tonight.
Yes.
So can you give us a little background on that?
Okay. I call the case the penny pitcher, because this entity actually throws pennies at the occupants. And
oh wow.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, this is actually my third case in which a ghost throws pennies. And why pennies? I mean, why aren't they throwing dimes or nickels or whatever? But yeah, they throw pennies. And this client I found on Nextdoor Neighbor. So she said that her uncle, who recently passed away, lived in the house for about 8 months, and he was sort of a prankster, and he had the habit of picking up pennies for good luck. So they think that possibly it's their uncle pranking them in the afterlife and throwing pennies at them. Their doorbell cam also picked up a strange mist, and the EMF readings that were done were normal. There was no pennies witnessed being thrown or anything like that, but I actually experienced it in 2 other cases. In 1974, when I was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, there was 3 entities haunting the barracks. Now, if anybody wants to, they can Google Fort Jackson, South Carolina, paranormal. And there was all kinds of activity at this base. And most military bases are haunted because you have soldiers who just can't deal with it. They commit suicide, hang themselves in the barracks. There's murders. There's accidents. there's training accidents that happen. So there's a lot of soldiers who die at military bases, and every military base I ever went to was haunted. But I was staying at these barracks at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and they said that 3 entities were haunting that barracks, and that one of the entities would toss pennies at you. And at that time, I was very young, and yes, I did believe in the paranormal, but I thought these guys were just joking. I didn't believe them. And one night, when I was laying in my bunker, some pennies were thrown at me. One hit me on the side and one hit me on my head. And I saw 3 soldiers by the water fountain. I said, hey, you guys, why are you throwing pennies at me? And they said, we're not throwing no pennies at you. I said, what? And they swore up and down they didn't throw the pennies. And at another time, when I was in the bathroom by myself, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, a penny hit me in the back of the head. And every soldier in those barracks were asleep. So that was that was one of my experiences. And then we had a case over in Carmichael, California, in which the occupants said that pennies were being thrown at them. And so we all sat in a circle, and sure enough, 3 pennies were thrown at us. So I had everybody raise their hands up in the air, and bam, another penny is thrown at us. So the only thing I could possibly do was do a cleansing, and the case is still pending. So I'm going to see what the outcome is if pennies are still being thrown. From what I've heard, the pennies are not being thrown anymore. So yeah, but they're just crazy. It's just strange that I had 3 cases where pennies were being thrown.
So, I know you've got some pictures here.
Paul, do you want to show some of that
Yes.
text that everybody can see? Yeah, we have them, and thank you so much. So pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you can see. So let me just hide that. That's the mist of the spirit, basically entering the home or the residence where Paul was doing the research. We'll show a little bit more of different pictures. So it's quite amazing when you see this. Thank you for sharing this. And that's, again, indoor camera. You can see basically what's happening inside of the home. And I'm so happy that we'll be capable of showing you guys pictures and the videos from the scene so you guys can see how basically these investigations are going.
Can you see could you see the little girl at the bottom of the steps? There was a little girl entity.
Yes.
Yeah, she has black hair.
Yes.
Yeah. And this right here was taken, this was taken, oh my gosh, I forgot. Oh, Georgia. I was staying in this apartment complex in Georgia, and they said that this apartment complex was haunted. And they said that a lot of times the ghosts will juggle the doorknob. And one of the people staying at the apartment took that picture, and you could see a little hand touching the doorknob, and it jiggles it around.
Huh.
Yeah.
So what was this one right here?
Oh, that was that was a
Oh yeah,
case.
I see the girl.
Yeah, that was a case that we did in Elk Grove, California, and it was a foster mother, and she had something like 6 kids over there, and those kids, they run around and everything else. But one of the girls would play with a Ouija board, and she summoned a little girl, and that's the little girl, and the security camera actually took pictures of it, and she moves things around. We actually got EVPs of a little girl talking. So, and that security camera, everybody was in bed, and that security camera picked up on this little girl. There's no little girl like that with black hair in that house. and that's the little girl ghost that haunts
Wow.
that house. Yeah.
So when we talk about the ghost of El Grove, and you did amazing story inside of the magazine, and thank you so much for sharing it with me. Paul, do you want to share the front, forgive me, text, the front page of the magazine so I can, so this is the magazine that we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You can subscribe to it. Paul, so it's Paranormal Underground magazine. You can